Joe. I just have this here. This is the budget presentation. Okay, all right. I will open the meeting on city and read our city budget. I bet you're referring to me personally, but I don't know if it's myself. Sound system. Can you go over now? I'll just talk loud. But the people on the camera, are we doing this part live? Okay. All right, dear citizens and board of council, city administration met virtually with finance committee and council to review this proposed budget and have submitted a favorable report which recommends adoption by the board of council. This budget, compiled as we exit the global pandemic, was a welcome change from last year's budget, which adopted in a time of uncertainty. However, the end of this crisis still finds the city on sound financial footing, allowing us to continue implementation of our updated community plan. For fiscal year 21-22, we will see this trend continue with projects in Tower Park, Island Park, the Central Business District, and the city building itself. City reserves or debt have been earmarked to keep moving forward. Additional capital improvements for fiscal year 2021 and 2022 include the resurfacing and reconstruction of those streets in need of repair, as well as the final completion of the North Fort Thomas sidewalk project. Funds have also been set aside for scheduled vehicle and equipment replacements, which this year include police vehicles and dump trucks. General fund. This year's general fund budget covers all personnel, supplies, and equipment needed to deliver the necessary public services and programs authorized by the Board of Council. For fiscal year 21-22, the general fund is projected to have a positive balance of revenues over expenditures of $2,640. The projected revenues in the general fund total $13,983,450. which represents a 3.1% increase over the prior year. Even as we recover from the economic effects of COVID-19, we maintain conservative projections. Nearly half of our revenues, 43.9%, come from city payroll and business taxes, which have been adjusted to better reflect actual revenues. Additionally, this budget includes the use of $550,000 in reserve funds for both community plan projects necessary capital purchases outlined above. Additionally, the city has again decided in response to those citizens affected by the COVID-19 pandemic to freeze the real estate tax rate at $3.97 per $1,000 of valuation. This is the same rate we have adopted since 2019. As this is the second straight year the rate will remain unchanged. While it's not much, we believe that anything we can do to aid in recovery is well worth it. General fund expenditures total $13,980,810, a 3.1% increase over fiscal year 2021. This increase is more in line with our usual expenditure increase as we are again saddled with pension contribution increases, among other things. That said, we rarely have much in the budget for discretionary spending, which remains consistent for fiscal year 21-22. Other funds. In order to maintain the city's commitment to continued improvement of public infrastructure, in order to complete street projects that were delayed by COVID-19, we have budgeted about $800,000 in normal street and sidewalk improvements for the upcoming fiscal year. Also budgeted is $200,000 for the repair of the city-owned bridge on Rossford Avenue, and $75,000 for traffic improvements on Chesapeake Avenue. Finally, the city's community plan implementation CBD fund handles debt service on bonds that were issued for the refinancing of previous debt and the renovation of the city building. This fund will also continue as a central point of all projects related to the city's community plan. This includes the completion of playground structures at Tower Park Shelter Number 3 and the Tower Park softball field, public parking associated with One Highland development in the city's central business district, and the renovations and improvements in the city building. As we continue to work on the community plan projects, this fund will continue to serve as a central point for the budgeting of all associated revenues and expenses. Summary. As the country reopens after more than 15 months of COVID-related closures, shutdowns, and stoppages, the city of Fort Thomas can proudly say that we have weathered the storm quite well. Revenues have remained steady, and expenditures have been kept under control. Most importantly, our conservative posture over the last several years put us in a position to continue with important projects and improvements. With that in mind, the city will strive to provide the same high-level services our population has come to expect in the most efficient way we can. Respectfully submitted, Eric Haas, Mayor, Ronald J. Dill, City Administrative Officer, and Joseph B. Wall, Director of Finance. That is the budget report for this year. So, we'll open the floor for any public comments or questions. If anybody would like to address council. Don't everybody come up at once. No, that's okay. We normally don't have that. We're really proud of what we've been able to do in the city in spite of everything that has happened. And probably the neatest thing for me personally was when we started talking about the city building and what we need to get a 50-year-old building with bad windows, bad roof, elevator out of code, no handicap restrooms, and we had budgeted money for that. Well, our finance director was able to look at the reduction of interest rates and debt load that was coming due from other projects in the city, reduced the level because of the interest rates. We were able to pay for all of that without any additional revenues, which just to me is absolutely fabulous. So I'm very excited about that. Normally, we take a compensating rate of 4% in tax revenue to help keep up with all the expenditures, but we kept it at the same rate for 2 years, and hopefully we will do fine. We're in great financial shape, and this is a fun city to be involved with, that's for sure. So if there are no questions or any concerns, we will close this portion of the public hearing. We have a few minutes before we start the regular scheduled council meeting. So, talk